Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Whispering Yin Yang by yttrio. If you would like to try solving this puzzle for yourself, it'll be the first link in the description. And let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Yin Yang. Shade some cells such that all shaded cells are orthogonally connected, all unshaded cells are orthogonally connected, and no 2x2 area is fully shaded or unshaded. So, we are going to shade some cells. Here's a common pattern that people use to demonstrate it. These ones and these ones. Okay, and in fact, actually, I can do that and that and that. There we go. All right. So, the green cells are orthogonally connected, so they are connecting via the edges. And I can travel from any green square to any other green square, only moving orthogonally and getting there only going through green squares. Same with the purple. And you'll also see that there are no 2x2s that are all of one color. And if I had this one in purple, that would not be connected orthogonally, and so that would not be a valid collection of purple. Okay. The shaded cells act as German whisper lines, or act as a German whispers line. If two orthogonally connected cells are both shaded, then the digits in those cells must have a difference of at least 5. Okay, so the some of these cells will be shaded, and if that were a 3, then this would have to be an 8 or a 9 in order to be at least 5 away from it. Okay. A digit in a cell with an arrow, that's these ones, counts the total number of shaded cells seen in the direction of the arrow, not counting the arrow itself. So if those 3 were shaded and those 2 were unshaded, then this would be a 3. And it doesn't matter what color this could be. This could be shaded or unshaded. Okay. That is all the rules. I am now going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer. And let's begin. Okay. Are there any places where these digits are small? So this one is 1, 2, or 3, because it only sees 3 cells. So 3 is the maximum it could be. That's the maximum number of shaded cells there. Oh, this one is 1 or 2. This is up to 4. I don't really want to pencil mark any higher than that. All right, let's talk about some Yin Yang stuff now that I've done that. Yes. And then we'll talk about some German whispers. All right, so in a Yin Yang puzzle, and I'm going to use green for my shaded and yellow for my unshaded, because green is the typical color for German whispers, and I think that that will be useful to remember, and then the yellow unshaded gives a nice contrast. Okay, so I can't make this pattern, because as soon as I connect green orthogonally, then this yellow is going to become isolated from the rest of the yellows. If I go around this way, doesn't matter how far out I go, I'm going to have a patch of yellow that's isolated from the rest of the yellows. So I can't do that. In the border, there we go, I can't have more than one stretch of each color. I could have the entire border all of one color, but I can't have more than one stretch of each color, because as soon as I make this one green, say, then once I connect this up with the rest of the green, I will then have made a wall between this section of yellow and this section of yellow. So that is something that's useful to know. So that makes me think. So being able to figure out where the border break or breaks are in order to shade the border is often a good opening start. So that makes me wonder if there's something to do with this. Okay, yes. This cell here sees up to 7 cells that are in the row. Okay. This cell sees all of those 7 plus this one. So if this digit were unshaded, or if this cell were unshaded, then these 2 digits would have to be the same, which they can't be. So this has to be shaded, and this is going to be 1 more than that. The content of that is going to be 1 more than that. But that could be... Oh, that's really clever. Okay. If this were shaded, what would the values go in there? Because of that this, no matter what color it is, it will be exactly 1 more than that. If this were shaded, it would violate our German whispers rule, where they have to be at least 5 apart. So that has to be unshaded. And I think now I'm going to talk about some German whispers things. So let's draw in a putative bit of shading here. Okay, so first of all, I cannot put a 5 on the line on here, because if I had a 5 here, this digit would have to be 0 or less, or 10 or more. No, there we go, that just about represents 10. But 0 and 10 are not legitimate Sudoku digits. So, and the next thing is that because of that, I'm going to be alternating between digits above 5 and digits below 5. So if I put a digit that's below 5 here, and another digit that's below 5 here, then the maximum difference between those is 3, and we need the minimum difference of 5. So that doesn't work. And same applies if I try to put 2 high digits next to each other. And then the last thing is that 4 and 6 are a little bit tricky to place. I can't place a 4 here, for example, because both of those would have to be 9. 9 is the only digit that is at least 5 away from 4. But they see each other by Sudoku, and so I can't do that. Likewise with 6 and 1. And actually, there is one more secret, given that we're talking about the shading of the yin-yang and orthogonally adjacent connected cells. So, and that I think is going to be important. So, supposing this digit were low, so I'll mark that with a 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that these digits are high, and I know that there are some digits that they can't be, but I'm just going to mark them as low and high for now. What you'll see is that the high digits are always on the same bishop's color in the grid as if it were a chessboard, right? So there's one set of diagonals that are going to be the high digits if it's on the green line, and the other set is going to be on the other set of diagonals. And that's because I'm only moving along the German whispers line orthogonally, and I have to go high, high, low, or low to high to low to high. Every time I move orthogonally, I am both changing from high to low or vice versa, and I'm changing from a black square to a white square if this were shaded like a chessboard. So that is going to be important because it does mean that if I were able to determine whether this was high or low, it would tell me two things. Number one, it would tell me if I discover where there's a shaded cell anywhere else in the grid, I can figure out whether it's high or low. And the second thing I can discover is that if a cell is high on, if we manage to whittle down the candidates on a cell to be high and low or low, and we know which chessboard color, which bishop's color is high and which is low, we might be able to tell that a cell is not a candidate for being shaded. For example, both of these can't be shaded. In fact, one will be shaded and one won't. These two, well, no, it's not true that one will be shaded and one won't. That's not true. Not necessarily true. But it is true that they can't both be shaded, because if they were both shaded, one would have to be high and one would have to be low. It doesn't tell me any patterns for unshaded cells. Likewise, these can't both be shaded. All right. So let's go and have another look up here. Trying to see, I can't see any obvious way from these arrows to determine where else the break, or where the other break is in the border. So can I from here? Yes, I can. All right. Supposing this were 7, then all of those cells would be green. Okay? But they would be shaded. But if that's 7, then by our rule of the arrows, that would be 8, which on the face of it seems fine and would be accurate. But where would the 5 go in this row? It can't go on a green cell, a shaded cell. Therefore, at least that one is unshaded. There we go. And now, because we can only have one stretch of each color, we know that all of this is unshaded, which is fantastic. That's a good start. And this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is a maximum of 6. All right. Now, to avoid a 2 by 2, we have to shade that, and we have to shade that. Well, this is now a 1, because clearly it just sees the one shaded cell. So that's no longer a 1, and it can't be a 4 because it sees 4 cells, but that one is clearly unshaded. Okay, that's pretty clever. Right, these two are on different bishops' colours. Right. Yes, these two are on different bishops' colours. Therefore, one of them is high and one of them is low. If you see, they are not on the same set of diagonals. So because of what I was talking about earlier, where all the highs would be on one bishop's colour and all the lows will be on the other bishop's colour if they're on the green line, then one of these must be high, one of these must be low. But the maximum that these see is 6 cells. So that means that the one that is high, which must be from 6, 7, 8, or 9, must be a 6. So one of these two is a 6. If this were a 6, this is very, very nice. Supposing this were a 6, then by our alternating of high and low, those three would have to be from 7, 8, and 9. But what's that digit? That has to be a 7 if that's a 6. And that means we would have 5, 6, 7s, 8, and 9s in the row. So that is not the 6. This is the 6. Those are all green. This is a 1. That cannot be green, or it would have to be 1, so that is yellow. I need to undo all of those. Because this is at least a 1, that one must be shaded. So we're going to right. The ones along here are going to grow from this end. Now, that has to be a low digit because we've already figured that out. 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this is a maximum of 4 that it sees. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are unshaded. And this is shaded to avoid a 2 by 2. Okay. So these are 7, 8, 9. These are from 2 and 3. They can't be 4 because both digits either side would have to be 9s. So we have a 2, 3 pair here. Okay. Okay. This cannot see 3 green digits because I get a 2 by 2. So it must be a 2. And if it sees 2 green digits, they can't be next to each other, or I'll get a 2 by 2. So those are the green digits. Now those turn yellow to avoid 2 by 2s. That's a 3. 3 can't go next to 7. So that's a 7. That's a 2. And this is a very nice puzzle indeed. I'm really, really liking it. So this is a high digit. And this is one more than that. Um, 4 and 6, no, 4 and 5 are those two digits. This C's 2, but it can't be a 2, so it's at least 3, but it can't be 4, because if it were 4, both of those would be shaded and I'd have a 2 by 2. So that is exactly 3. Tells me that one of these, but I don't know which one yet. One of those is green. Okay, this digit. Of the 3 digits that or the 3 cells that it's seeing, 2 of them are already unshaded. So that must be a 1 and that must be shaded. That is a low digit by Bishop's color. And it can't be a 1, so that's 2, 3, or 4. This is a low digit, and it sees 1, 2, and 3 in the row. That is a 4. That makes that a 9. That is now unshaded, or it would also have to be a 9. And then to avoid a checkerboard, that has to be unshaded. This digit here is high, low, high, low, high, low, high. That's a high digit. So that's 6, 8, or 9. Okay, if this were shaded, then it would have to be a low digit to go next to this 8. But it sees 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the row. So that must be unshaded. This must now be shaded. And that is a high digit that's not a 6. I need to avoid a checkerboard, so that is unshaded. And it sees 1, not 2, but could see 3. So that's 1 or 3 there. Okay, we've done that clue. We've done that one. We've done that one. Still got those to complete. That one's done. And then that one is completing, and there's this one. So that's up to 5. Can't be 1. And it can't be 4. So that's 2, 3, or 5. Okay, we avoid a 2 by 2 by making that shaded. So now that can't be a 1, so it must be a 3, and that shades this cell. That is not 3. That is not 3. These are high digits. Neither of them can be a 6 because there's not a 1 here. That's not an 8. I don't know if this has to come out yet because it's still connected to this. So, where to look next? Maybe do some Sudoku. All right. Mm. Okay. One of those is a 3. We have a 2 down here and a 3 down here. Right, that can't be a 4, because if that were a 4, all of these would have to be 9s, but those two can't. So that is a 2. That makes this a 5. That's nice. All right. That is those 5, so those are all shaded. Because this is now hitting the border, that makes these shaded. That's now a 4, and that's a 5. That 4 makes that 9. That needs to be unshaded to avoid a 2 by 2. That needs to be unshaded because if it was shaded, it would be a 9. That's now shaded to avoid a 2 by 2. This 5 makes this 4 and this 5. That puts a 4 in one of those. We've got a 1 in one of those. That 9 removes 9 from there. Oh, removes 9 from there. There we go. All right. So this is, that is a low digit by Bishop's color. Those are low digits by Bishop's color. That can't be 4. It sees both of its neighbors. Both of its neighbors see each other. That can't be a 4. That can't be a 4. That one could be. Except no, it can't, because that can't be a 9. In fact, there's a 4 in the column already. So neither of those can be a 6, because their neighbors see each other, and it can't be 9. So that is a 7-8 pair. That can't be a 6 either, for the same reason, and it also can't be a 9. So that's a 7-8, and that gives a 7-8 pair in the box. One of those two is 7, so that is not a 3. One of these two is 7, so that is not a 3. That makes that the 3, and therefore that is 8, that is 7, that is 8. The 1, 2 in the box makes that 3. This is really smooth. Okay. That could be shaded if it were a 9. And I can't see why it can't be a 9. Okay. So have we done all of the arrow clues now? That's 5, that's 4. That's 1, that's 5, that's E's 3, that's E's 2, that's E's 1, that's E's 3, and that's E's 6. So yeah, all of our arrow clues are done. So now it is just our Yin Yang shading and Sudoku, and the German whispers with the Yin Yang shading. Right. So I'm looking for cells that see all the low digits but are on the low bishop's colour, or cells that see all the high digits or on the high bishop's colour, or at least see a lot of the digits. So this sees a 1, 2, and a 3. But if it were green, so if that were green, it would have to be a 4 because of the bishop's colour it's on, but a 4 can't go next to an 8. So that is yellow. That is unshaded. This digit would have to be high. Sees a 6 or an 8, that would be a 7 or a 9. That would have to be high. And it couldn't be a 6 because it's next to a 2. So that would be a 7 or an 8, which it could be. All right. Maybe just figuring out some Sudoku might be a plan at this point. So the 4 digits left for this box are 4, 6, 8, and 9. Yeah, that's not really very useful. Where to look next? Okay, that sees, this needs to be a low digit by bishop's colour, but it sees 1 and 3 in the row, 2 in the box, 4 in the column. So that is unshaded. Then to avoid a 2 by 2, that is shaded. That is a high digit and must be a 7 or a 9 because it sees an 8 and a 6. Okay. That, as far as I can tell, can be shaded or unshaded. They can't both be, it's one of each. That's a high digit with very little restrictions if it's shaded. That, if it is shaded, would have to be a 1 because next to a 7 I can only have 1 or 2. That sees a 2 there, so if that's shaded it's a 1, but I can't see why that can't be. If that is shaded, it has to be a 3 because it sees 1, 2, and 4. Okay. Actually, Sudoku is my the next thing I need to look at. Where is 2 in this box? That's the right question to ask. 2 is there. That is in the high bishop's color if it were shaded, but it's a low digit, so that is unshaded. So these are 4, 6, 7, or 9. So one of those is 4, one of these is a 4. This. If this were shaded, it would have to be 9. And then that would be shaded, and that would work. Okay, that 2 means that that's not a 2. One of those is a 4. If that were 6, then that would have to be the 1 for it. What am I missing? Okay, that's not a 3. That's a 3 by Sudoku. That could be shaded, and if it is, that's an 8 or a 9. But it means that that's not a 3. Right, these digits are 1, 2, 7, and 6. And there's definitely a 6 in there, so that is not a 6. That could still be shaded, though. These 4 digits are 4, 5, 6, and 9. And those are not false. One of those is a 6, so those are not 6s. So that's a 5, 9 pair. That makes that a 4, 6 pair. Okay, neither of those can be next to the 3, so that is unshaded. That's not a 1. This is 7, 9, and 5, but not 9. So they are 7 and 5 because I've already got a 9 in the box. So that's a 9. That is not 9. None of those are 9s. And this digit must be a 1. And this digit must be 6. Okay. Little more progress. If that is shaded, it is a 9. And then that could be shaded as a 4. And then that would be unshaded because I couldn't have a 9 the other side. But if that's a 4, that could be a 9 and that a 5. No, that can't be a 9. All right, here we go. Yes, if this is shaded, it has to be 4 because it's on the low bishop's color. But it couldn't be a 9 that way because of that. So it would have to connect this way. But it doesn't have to be shaded. I am not quite seeing what I need to see, apparently. Right, one of these two is a 5. One of those is a 5. Okay. No, I am not seeing the next step. Where is the next step? It's here somewhere. This digit cannot be shaded because it would be next to a 3. There we go. That is a deduction. And then this I need to be shaded to avoid a 2x2 of yellow. This is unshaded to avoid a 2x2 of green. That one can go either way, and this is one of each. This now can't connect by going in this direction. So this has to come out this way. This is green in order to connect our greens together. So that can't be a 5 because we can never have a 5 on green. So that is unshaded. This now has to join its buddies. So this is a high digit. This is low. It sees 1 and 3, and it can't be 4 because both of those would be 9. So that's a 2. And then next to 2 goes 1 and goes 7, 8, and 9. So that is 8 or 9. That is 7, 8, or 9. That's not a 1 or a 2, so that's a 6 or 7. In fact, that is a 6, making this 4. Okay, all of our yellow is going to be connected easily. Oh, in fact, that digit has to be, or that cell has to be yellow to avoid checkerboard. So that we can do. Now this has to be green to get out. And now this can't be green. If it were green, then by bishop's color, it has to be a 4, making that a 9, but we've already got a 9 in the box. So that must be unshaded. That must be shaded to avoid a 2 by 2 and can't be a 5. Makes that a 9. That's a 5. That makes that 5, which must be unshaded. All 5s are unshaded. This now can't escape through here, so this one is definitely shaded and must be a 1 or a 2 to go next to the 7, so it must be a 1 because of this 2. All right. This must be unshaded to avoid a 2 by 2. This must be shaded so that it connects. Now we've just got that which is currently, oh, it's not ambiguous, that is unshaded. So that must be shaded to avoid a 2 by 2. All right, we've now got our coloring done. So this is a low digit, and it sees 1, 2, and 4, so that's a 3. That now has to be 8. 7 is too close to 3. That's a 7. That's not a 3 by Sudoku, so that is a 2, 3 pair. Those are not 4s. We've got 6, 7, 9 in this box, so that has to be a 6. Sorry, 6, 8, 9. That's still a 6. So one of those is, so that's an 8, 9 pair. This is 5 or 7 by the row, but it's not a 7. So that's a 5. That's 7. That's 5. And these two digits are 8 and 9. Okay. Right. I don't think we've got any more German whispers stuff to do because okay, that one can't be a 7, so I was actually slightly wrong about that. And now I don't think there's any more German whisper stuff to do because all of our digits are within valid ranges. Even if that's a 2, that could still be a 7. But that's not 2. So that is 1 or 7. That 9 makes that 8, which makes that 9. That's 9. This 9 makes this 8 and 9. And I've made a mistake in this column, but I think it's just with pencil marking. That is not 1, 7. That is 4, 7, which I can place 7 and 4. Hopefully, I didn't make a big zero of that. That is not 1 or 7. That is a 2, which makes that 1 and 2. This is a 4, 8 pair, which I can place. And that resolves that. This 2 makes this a 1, and this is now 7. So I need a 2 and a 6, which I can place. That resolves my 3 and 2 down here. This must be the 5 for the column. This is a 4, 6 pair. That's 4. That's 6. That makes that 4, 7, and 6. That places a 6 down here. I need a 1 and a 7, which go in. This 7 makes this 9, which makes that 8, and that's 7, and that's 9. And the last 3 digits are a 1, which goes here, a 3, which goes here, and an 8, which goes there. Lovely puzzle. That was really, really nice. Yeah, the German whispers and the arrows getting my border breaks up here was really nice. The border around the edge giving me that this was a 1, and then that one of these had to be low and one had to be high because of the bishop's colour, and the high one had to be a 6 because that was all there was room for, and then the 6 would have broken here because there would have been no room for the 5. No, that was why that couldn't be a 7, was because there was no room for the 5. But the 6, oh right, there, the 6 here made that a 7, and then I'd have had a 7, 8, 9 quad in the row. Yeah, that was all very, very nice. Really, really enjoyed that. I do love Yin Yang puzzles. If you have ever tried any of the puzzles that I've set, you'll notice that a healthy proportion of them are Yin Yang. Yeah, no, really enjoyed that yttrio. Thank you very much for a great puzzle, and I really enjoyed it. If you like this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.